Welcome to my channel, Safety Net. Today, our topic is risk assessment.
Hey, welcome back. When we talk about workplace safety, it's easy to picture things like hard hats or bright yellow warning signs. But what if I told you the single most powerful safety tool isn't something you can wear or see? It's a process. And today, we're going to break down the blueprint for a professional workplace risk assessment. So let me start by asking you this. What's the most overlooked danger where you work? Seriously, think about it. Is it that frayed cable everyone just steps over? Maybe it's that one shelf in the stockroom that's just a little too overloaded? Well, the truth is, the biggest danger usually isn't an object at all. It's the absence of a system to find these things before they cause real harm. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with what a risk assessment even is. Then we'll walk through the three big steps: identify, assess, and control. And we'll wrap up with why this is something you don't just do once. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful framework that anybody can use. Okay, before we jump into the how-to, we really have to get a handle on the why. So what are we actually talking about here? What is a risk assessment at its core? First things first, let's clear up two words that people mix up all the time: hazard and risk. A hazard is just anything that has the potential to cause harm. Think about a hot coffee machine. That's a hazard. But the risk, that's the actual chance, high or low, that someone is actually going to get burned by it. Getting this difference straight is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. And I want to be really clear on this next point. This process is not about creating a bunch of paperwork that's just going to sit in a binder somewhere. It's not about checking off boxes for compliance. It's much simpler and much more important than that. It's about protecting people, your team, your colleagues, you. Plain and simple. All right, let's get our hands dirty with step one, identifying hazards. This is the part where you basically become a detective. You have to learn to see the place you walk through every single day with a completely fresh set of eyes. So how do you actually do that? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Three key things. First, you actually walk the workplace. I mean, really walk it. Look in the corners, behind equipment, places you normally ignore. Second, and this one is huge, you have to talk to the employees. The people on the front lines, they know the real story. They know about the close calls and the daily frustrations. And finally, check the records. Old accident reports are an absolute goldmine for spotting recurring problems. So now you have a list of all these potential hazards. What's next? Well, that brings us to step two, assessing the risk. This is where we shift gears from just asking, what if this happens, to asking something way more strategic. Okay, how likely is this to happen? And if it does, how bad will it be? And this right here is the tool that pros use to figure that out. It's called a risk matrix. Now, it might look a little technical, but I promise you, it's super simple. All you do is plot how likely something is to happen against how severe the injury would be. See that top right corner? Anything that lands in that red zone, high likelihood, high severity, that's what needs your immediate attention. It's just a fantastic way to prioritize what really matters. Okay, now for the part where we actually make a difference. Step three, controlling the risk. We've done our homework, we've done the analysis, now it's time to actually take action and make things safer. But here's the thing. Not all actions are created equal. This is called the hierarchy of controls, and it ranks solutions from the most effective down to the least. Right at the very top, the absolute best thing you can do is elimination. Can you just get rid of the hazard completely? If you can't, can you substitute it with something safer? Now look way down at the bottom. That's personal protective equipment, or PPE. Look, a hard hat is crucial, but it's designed to be the absolute last line of defense, not the first solution you reach for. So we've identified the hazards, we've assessed them, and we've put controls in place. We're all done, right? Well, not quite. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important part of the blueprint: review and repeat. You see, safety is a cycle. It is not a finish line. A good risk assessment is a living document. It has to change as your workplace changes. So when should you dust it off and take another look? For sure, you should do it annually, at a minimum. But you also need to review it immediately after any kind of incident or even a near miss. And of course, whenever you bring in new equipment or change a process, or even when people's job roles change. The goal is to keep it alive and relevant, always. When you get right down to it, this is what it's all about. A risk assessment isn't just a piece of paper. When it's done right, when it's a living process, it becomes the foundation for a real culture of safety, a place where looking out for each other is just how things are done. So that's the blueprint. It's a clear, logical, and repeatable process. The blueprint is yours now, so I'll leave you with this question. What's the very first step you're going to take to make your workplace just a little bit safer?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.